Welcome to the Powerline Podcast, the official podcast of Greystone Power. I'm your host, Emily Young, and today we're talking about tips to stay safe and secure this holiday season. So, let's get started on episode 49 of the Powerline Podcast. Holidays are the perfect time to get holly and jolly. From extravagant spreads to Christmas music and decorations at every corner, it's hard to not feel the magic in the air. Lots of people travel around this time of year, which makes it perfect for scammers and burglars. But don't worry, we'll be helping you to slay the worry this holiday season. Today I'm here with the Inside Sales Manager at EMC Security, Natalie Stanley, who is here to share some tips for keeping you and your family safe during the most wonderful time of the year. Natalie, welcome to the podcast. This is a real treat to have you here in person today. She traveled all the way from Suwanee, Georgia to be on the podcast. Tell us a little about your role at EMC Security.
Yeah, and thanks for having me here. So I work with our inside sales team. I started off as a rep, so any of your members that have called in the past, they probably spoke to me at some point. But I manage our inside sales team and work with our outside sales team. So they're responsible for talking to people who are interested in signing up and current customers who want to add on equipment or do upgrades.
Is this your first time joining the podcast? What were you looking forward to the most as you prepared for this episode?
Yeah, this is my first time here, so thanks for having me again. I'm really just looking forward to talking about home security, how it can save lives and property, but I know we're going to talk about the holidays too, and I love the holidays, so that's a perfect topic for me.
So for starters, let's get the basics out of the way. What is EMC Security? Who can get service if they're interested?
Yeah, EMC Security, we do, your standard security. So if you think of keypads, motion detectors, sensors, but we also do cameras. That's a huge thing people are getting now. Doorbell cameras, indoor, outdoor. We do home automation, so like your lights, locks, thermostats, and obviously fire. We do commercial and school systems, so there's a lot we can offer. Also, even if somebody doesn't have Greystone or one of the power companies we work with, they can still get EMC Security if they're in Georgia. So if anybody has friends or family that don't have Greystone, you can still refer them over.
Today's episode is about holiday safety. Lots of people travel during this season, leading to concerns about protecting their home while they're away. What are some tips you have to offer?
Yeah, that's a great question. First, obviously, I think having a security system is huge, especially when you're out of town. We all have seen the news and crime is up, especially in Atlanta. So getting a system, having it armed, also having cameras, that way you can check in on the home. Smoke detectors, having those monitored through the system, which I know we're going to talk a little bit more about, really can save your home, your pets' lives. And then also you can set up your system to where it'll turn on your lights at a certain time, just so it makes it look like you're at home. But other things that people may not think about, especially if you're going to be out of town for an extended amount of time, is your mail, or if you get the newspaper, putting that on a hold until you get back. Also, lawn care, which maybe in the winter months won't be a big of a deal. I know in the summer, you almost have to mow your lawn every 2 days to make it look right. So just making sure your lawn, everything looks like someone's home. One thing that I have to remind myself when I'm out of town is not to post on social media in real time. So don't let people know you're out of town and your home's empty. Wait till you get home to post that.
Right. I always wondered as a little kid, my mom would set timers in our house for the lights, and I had no idea what those were for, and I was like, why do we even have to set these? So
yeah.
Now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, that's really smart. So, if people see a dark house when there's normally lights and cars in front of it, it can be an invitation for bad news.
Yes. If you think of Home Alone, that scene where Kevin, he's home and he's got his lights turning on and even the Michael Jordan cutout going around just to make it look like someone's at home. That's great. And we can do that too. You can set up those kind of things. Not the Michael Jordan cutout, but you can have your Christmas tree turn on at certain times of the day. So there's so much you can do with it.
Right. Thank you. While Christmas is a joyful time, it can also pose some risk. For example, I'm sure many of you have seen or used Christmas lights at some point in your life. One way they can be dangerous is if you're overloading circuits. Plugging too many lights into one outlet can overload the circuit and cause a fire. What are some other ways members can protect their homes from fire?
Okay, so that's a great question. And I should first clear up what smoke detectors are that are monitored through a security system versus local smoke detectors. So, local smoke detectors, those are what your builder puts in, and they keep your house up to code. Everyone's house has those. But if you have a security system, you can set up smoke detectors that are tied into the system. And that way, if you're away from the house, if something were to happen, you don't have to wait on your neighbors or someone driving by to see smoke and call the fire department. Because at that point, it may be too late and you may lose pets or your house. Who knows what could happen? So if you have smoke detectors that are tied into your security system, as soon as they go off, we're calling you to make sure you didn't burn anything in your house or, food-wise. But other than that, if you don't answer the phone or you tell us there's something going on, we'll automatically dispatch for the fire department. We have seen cases where that saves lives and pets. And if you have a security system with us, you can even put on file, where you create your pets in the house. So that's a great thing to have, especially around the holidays. But getting back to your question about, especially during the holidays, how you can protect your home, I think something we may not think about is with Christmas trees. So if you have a real Christmas tree, then you need to make sure it's fresh, it stays watered. Any dry tree could cause a fire. And if you get an artificial tree, that's what I have. I don't want the thought of bugs in my house, then you need to make sure it's fire resistant. Also with that, with candles, it's a popular time to get out your gingerbread candles or pumpkin candles, whatever you like, and have those lit throughout the day. But you really shouldn't be doing that if you're not going to be in the room. Don't leave them unattended. That could cause a fire. Something else that you'll want to think about is when you're cooking or making those meals for Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays, set timers on your oven. I think it could be easy to forget what you have going on, especially if you're running around the house decorating and wrapping presents. So set a timer on your phone. That way you can keep up with what's going on in the kitchen.
That's really great to know about the smoke alarms. I didn't know that there were two different kinds, and I think it's really handy that you guys can put on file where you keep pets. Because truly, in an event of an emergency, every second, every minute counts. So instead of spending that time running around looking, you know exactly where to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Christmas is such a fun and vibrant time of the year. Some of my favorite things to do include watching Christmas classics like Elf and the Polar Express. I also love holiday baking, maybe even a little too much. Natalie, what are some of your favorite holiday traditions?
Okay, so during the holidays, my favorite parts are getting together with my family. I've got nieces and nephews, and seeing Christmas through their eyes and the magic, that's my favorite part. But a new tradition me and my husband have been doing, just on our own, on Christmas Eve, we get together and we make shrimp and grits and watch all our favorite Christmas movies, and that's when we open our gifts with each other. So that's our own time to do it, and it's just a little more peaceful than running around to different houses.
That sounds really nice. I'm glad that you guys are able to spend that time together. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Okay, so we always ask everybody the same last question. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our members?
Yes, give us a call or go to our website. It's emcsecurity.com. There's so many different ways we can protect your home, or even if you just want to look at cameras for now, we can do that also. But we have ways to make it affordable while also giving you protection. And usually your homeowner's insurance company will give you a discount for having security. So reach out to us. We can have somebody come out to your house, provide a free quote, no obligation, but give us a call.
Unfortunately, we're all out of time for today's episode. Make sure to check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X, formerly Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, available on our website, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Thanks for joining us for episode 49. We'll catch you next time on the Powerline Podcast.